Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up hard.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas.
Hi, everybody.
I'm going to start this episode out a little differently by asking a question. Thomas, why are you wearing an old, fake Chelsea jersey? Your answer, audience, is because I'm broke, can't afford one, and also, Chelsea beat Liverpool, get that out of here, that's mine. So, suck it. We beat you in EFL Cup. And Ian has left the room. Alright, I'm going to keep going. Anyways, so for those of you who don't know, Chelsea played Liverpool twice this week. Once at Anfield for the EFL Cup, and I believe the one at Anfield, yeah, that was the EFL Cup one.
Yes.
And Chelsea beat Liverpool 2-1. And that knocked Liverpool out of the EFL Cup. And broke Liverpool's perfect start to the season. So, little dance for me. And then they went back to Stamford Bridge to play in the Premier League and brought a 1-1 draw, which kind of leaned Liverpool's way because they got the last goal in the 89th minute from Daniel freaking Sturridge.
I would still like to draw your attention to the table.
It's early season, bud. Was it week 7?
Yes.
It's early. Anyways, so not only did Chelsea break their perfect season record, they broke their perfect league record as well. Anyways, there's my happy moment of the episode.
The table.
We'll see.
You can see the table.
You're 2 points ahead of us, and you're not even in first.
So, well, that's only on goal differential.
City is in first somehow.
On goal differential.
That's crazy. Anyways, back to Premier League. Love you, Dad.
Moving on.
And
And it's not a fake Chelsea jersey. I know. I paid for it.
there's no Adidas logo on it.
Moving on.
You didn't pay for this one. This one, I paid for this one.
Moving on.
There's a lot of upsets again this week. The first one I would like to go over, once again includes Manchester United, with Jose Mourinho digging himself deeper into the pits of hell for some strange reason. But I think he likes it there.
I think so.
But they lost 3-1 to West Ham. And, I mean, West Ham...
It was not a lucky win by West Ham. It was West Ham beat Manchester United.
They tore the Red Devils apart. I mean, they were 3 fantastic goals.
Yeah. It was a fun game to watch, too.
Well, one of them was an own goal, but yeah.
I don't care.
It was a very fun game to watch. And it shows the struggle that Jose Mourinho's having right now. There's something going on.
Yeah.
And, like we've said before, it's got to be the locker room. His players don't want to play for him. And it's showing.
Well, and you got, the thing is, you had Paul Pogba, who started off the season with the captain's armband. And he's been stripped of the armband. And Jose Mourinho insists it's not because Paul Pogba has announced he wants to leave. It kind of is, but it's not because he wants to leave. It's just, if you want to leave my team, I can't let you be the skipper.
It makes sense.
And yeah, it makes perfect sense. But at the same time, when you elect a captain at the beginning of the season, and then week 7 you strip him of it, the rest of your players are going to kind of look at you with a little bit of side eye from now on.
Exactly.
Because I get it, I understand it. I don't even think it was a petty move. Some people might consider it to be a petty move, but I don't. I think it was a skillful coaching move. Get somebody who is dedicated to the team and who is bought into the way things are going to be played and isn't looking to leave Old Trafford, and give them the captain's armband. I get it.
And we were talking about it this weekend. Jose Mourinho has a very, very intelligent soccer brain. He's brilliant at coaching. but he doesn't have the human qualities.
I think he's brilliant at coaching tactics. He's not
Yes.
brilliant at coaching, like you said, the human side of the game.
Players.
Yeah, he's not good at getting the players to buy in and get them to work, with him. It's almost, and I've said it before too. I didn't notice him doing it this match, but I mean, normally, 5 minutes before the end of the half, Jose Mourinho's he's out of his seat and he's on his way down the tunnel already. I think somewhere in his mind that has some kind of benefit, but to me, that's detrimental. I want if I'm going to be playing at that level, I would want my coach to be there for the whole thing. Okay, it's 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever. But I mean, seriously, I'm unimportant. There's something down that tunnel that's more important than what's going on the pitch right now. And that just tells me, just kind of reiterate what you said. He's tactically, he's brilliant, absolutely. I won't deny that for a minute. He doesn't know how to coach people. He doesn't know how to get these players, and it's little stuff like that, that it builds up, it adds up over a period of time, and players are just like, what, this guy's a douche, man. I don't want to play for him. I'm gonna go out there, and if he tells me, to go down the left wing, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna tuck in a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, and I've played for a coach like that, where players just stopped listening to him, and it wasn't fun playing anymore because, I mean, you're constantly getting yelled at by a guy on the sideline. You don't want to do that. I mean, you don't want to play for that. So I mean, it's and we'll go over some even more struggles that he's had later in the episode when we go over Champions League. Because wow, Arsenal pulled out a 2-0 win over Watford, although I think it should have been 1-0. Yeah, nope. Sorry, that was the last game. Mesut Ozil got on the score sheet, so good for him. That increased Arsenal to 5 wins in a row, I believe, or 4 wins in a row.
I think so. Yeah.
So after a shaky start, 2 losses, Unai Emery has gotten the Gunners into kicking gear, and I mean they're playing good football. And Watford, I mean, we've said before, is not a team to joke around with. They're playing good football too. So to get a 2-0 win over a team like Watford is big for Arsenal going forward in the season. Everton got a much needed win, a much needed 3 points with 3 goals over Fulham. Everton is just still struggling. And what's funny is, I don't know if you guys might remember last episode, we talked about how long we think Jordan Pickford's going to stay. And we said, maybe till the end of the season. Literally, like 2 days after
it was the next morning the news
was
broke.
it?
Yeah.
He signed a new 6-year deal. So I think Jordan Pickford's watching Inside the Six. So thanks, Jordan.
Tell your friends.
But I mean, it was ridiculous because we were talking about he's not going to stay. He's not going to stay. And I mean, we wake up and he signed a 6-year deal.
It was literally the same day the last episode posted is when they announced that. So I mean, anyway, he's not going to leave in the transfer window, either the Christmas transfer window or the summer transfer window. He will be at Everton for a couple more years.
Which I don't.
Hey, well,
maybe he likes it there.
Yeah, he might like living in Merseyside. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he sees something coming that the rest of us don't.
Well, and that might be it. Maybe the boss has told him, look, stick around. It's not going good right now. Yeah. I'm going to work on things in the transfer window. We're going to get some players. And, I mean, and that might be what it is. He's holding out for things to get better.
Sure.
And I mean, if that's what's happening, I can't slack him for that. Tottenham got a pretty good win over Huddersfield, which we kind of expect. City got a 2-0 win over Brighton. Leicester got a much needed win over Newcastle because they're mid-table again this year. They're not. Nobody can really expect them to perform at the level that they did their championship run. But they kind of struggle every once in a while, so it's good to see them get a win. And Wolverhampton
came to play,
still impressing us.
Absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, they belong in the Premier League.
Yep.
I mean, Watford's in 6th place in the table right now after 7, and Wolverhampton is in 9th place, above Manchester United and Everton. I might add, Everton is in 11th place. Manchester United is in the middle of the table at 10th. 10 points for United, 9 points for Everton
Which
of 21.
Further shows the struggles of United.
Yeah.
You see, Burnley got a very much needed win over Cardiff. Cardiff they're struggling. I don't know what it is. They can't seem. They can't seem to get a win.
This is their first premiership in a very long time. And I think maybe they didn't have anybody on their coaching staff, nobody in the backroom staff, nobody in front office staff had any idea what to tell these guys when they say, listen, you're going to be in the premiership. There's going to be top flight football. This is what to expect. I don't think they had that, and I think right now it's just a little bit of whiplash. I hope, and I'm not. They didn't come to the Premier League by chance. They got promoted, which means they won enough games in the Championship to get where they're at. Whether they stick around or not, it's completely up to them. If they can get through, what I think is just, a transition period, a little bit of culture shock, if you will. The Premier League is one of the most exciting leagues on the planet.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, so I mean, if once they kind of get to where they can settle down a little bit, we'll see what's going on.
And like we said, it's still very early on in the season. They still got a lot of time to kind of pick it up and get back on track. And the last game was, I think, probably behind the Liverpool-Chelsea game was game of the week for me. And that was Bournemouth Crystal Palace.
Absolutely, that was a really great game to watch.
Fantastic play from both teams, and it was very unfortunate. It seemed like Crystal Palace kind of threw it away at the last minute. It looked like it was going to be a 1-1 draw, and Mamadou Sakho just made a really.
It was dumb. It was pointless.
I mean, he elbowed. Who he elbowed, but I mean he elbowed a Bournemouth attacker on a set piece in the box. I mean, right in front of the referee.
And literally 15 seconds after the referee warned him, "Listen, you need to cool it."
Yeah.
The referee stepped out of the box, blew the whistle, and Sakho just decided to throw an elbow and a fist into the face and neck of a Bournemouth player, and the referee's he's 20 feet away, looking right at it. And it made no sense at all to me. And of course, Sakho, in true, top flight player fashion, argued, his case. So I didn't do this, I didn't do that, But I mean, everybody saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire stadium saw it. Vitality Stadium, the fans are on the pitch. It's a fantastic environment. It's got to be absolutely magnificent to sit that close to the pitch.
One day.
On the bucket list. But yeah, it was absolutely silliness, to just, especially that late in the match. I mean, I believe it was in stoppage time. If it wasn't stoppage time, it was very close to full time.
The 87th minute, I believe. Something like that. I
mean, you got a 1-1 draw. You're about to nick a point, and you decide to give all 3 away, because you want to be silly. So, I mean, he's the one that's got to go into the dressing room. He's got to look at his manager. He's got to, he's got to look at Roy Hodgson in the face and say, I'm sorry, Gaffer, I screwed that up. He's got to look at his fellow players and say, I'm sorry, I did that, And, hopefully they have a way to hold him accountable with, other than,
and it was
sticking his head in the toilet. But
it was directly after Wayne Hennessy had made several fantastic saves in a row.
Absolutely.
It was very unneeded.
It was dumb.
It almost it ruined the game for Crystal Palace. I mean, they lost out on a point because of it.
Yeah.
Next week, looking forward to next week. Big game for Liverpool and City, top 2 teams on the league right now, playing on Sunday. So that'll be very, very fun to watch.
I know what I want for my birthday. 3 points for Liverpool.
That's right. Next time we record, this man will be 1 year older.
Actually, by the time we're done recording, I'll be a couple days older. But anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good match. I was actually talking to a guy today. He said something about it. He's a big soccer fan. Who do I follow? And of course, I say I'm a Liverpool guy. And he said, "Oh yeah, well my daughters too, but I'm and he said Manchester, and I almost hung my head in shame that I was to be talking to him, and then he said City, and I perked back up.
So the lesser of two evils.
And I told him, I enjoy watching City. City is
Yeah.
a very fun team to watch play. They're not my favorite team, but they're one of the top teams to watch. It's fluid, fast attacking football, and all of their play. It doesn't matter. Their center halves will score goals
Yep.
in a heartbeat.
Well-oiled machine.
Absolutely. Pep Guardiola has done absolutely amazing with putting this team together. He's ruffled a few feathers here and there, but nobody can complain about what he's doing right now.
And
especially after winning a title, and then
with Kevin De Bruyne coming back, very soon.
I think he's actually going to be eligible for this match. I think it's going to be his first one back. So
it's a little bit of a hurting for Chelsea there. That could prove to be a little difficult.
You mean for Liverpool?
Yes. Sorry.
I don't know.
Eventually they'll have to play Chelsea as well, but it might prove to be difficult for Liverpool. I don't know. Liverpool, they're obviously coming off of a shock point in their season. They're running really well against bigger teams. They come across a team, they get a loss and a draw. It happens.
Yeah.
And
I think they got him out of the way.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about him anymore.
And I think Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers in the league to be able to look at his team and be like, look, we knew it was going to happen eventually.
Right.
Get it out of the way. Get it out of your head.
Yep.
We got another big team coming up.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Time to play.
They're top of the league right now. We can take it over. This is our time to take it back. So moving on to EFL Cup. Another piece of big news for United. Losing in the EFL Cup.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's just... And it wasn't like a straight up loss. It was it did go to penalties, but it wasn't there it is. It was it was to Derby County. Sorry, Derby County.
Derby County.
You can't lose a game like that, especially in in a tournament like this where it's still pretty early on against a smaller team. Shout out to Frank Lampard for getting his team in check and being able to win that game. They were actually in the lead, and Marouane Fellaini scored an equalizer in the 90th minute, I believe, to bring it back to draw, and then it forced penalties, which Luke Shaw missed.
Yeah.
He sent it skyward.
They said it's probably still rising. So
It happens.
Hey.
See, West Ham got an 8-0 win over Macclesfield Town. Tottenham Hotspur and Watford went on to penalties, and Tottenham got their revenge from early on in the season over Watford, winning 4-2 in penalties.
Everton, Southampton match with the penalties as well.
Southampton beat Everton penalties.
4-3 on penalties.
So seeing some teams that usually aren't moving this far into the tournament, and they are. So it's EFL Cup is another really great tournament because you can see championship teams and League One teams.
Yeah. That's what I like about it the most.
Play bigger teams and possibly win, much like Derby County did.
But you get to see, sometimes these smaller clubs, like the championship and the League One teams, those matches are televised, and you get to see, some of these stadiums, how intimate the setting is. Seriously, you got, like I said, with the Vitality Stadium with Bournemouth, the fans are right on the pitch, and a lot of these lower division teams have their stadiums like that too. A lot of these stadiums are very old. And again, it's just a very intimate setting where they put the seats almost right on the sidelines, and be able to watch these games sometimes when they are televised, and just to the atmosphere in these games and how important these teams are to the local community. And we can attest to that, on a smaller basis even than, Championship or League One, with the Wilmington Hammerheads, and as close as we were, in the stands, we were where we were with the Port City Firm. Shout out to the Port City Firm. Hammer till I die.
Rest in peace.
The fact, we would take our position on the wall, literally right between the two benches. Where we would heckle the fourth officials and
the opposing coach
and the opposing coach. I got more than one opposing player red carded. I'd say the right thing, and he'd turn around and give me the finger, and it was a beautiful thing. Right in front of a fourth official who's not going to put up with it. But the atmosphere in these games is so awesome, and it really drives home to me one of the things I like so much about this game. Just the sense of community, and the support that fans will provide for a team, even a team who's League One or Championship, and even still not doing well. It doesn't matter. these are heroes. And we had players like that. And guys, from Wilmington. Shout out to Cody Arnaud. He's still a hometown hero. You get to almost interact one-on-one with these players, even during a match, and especially after a match, because you're right there. They can, they'll give you a high five, and or they'll throw a jersey into the stands. And because there's only 2,000 people there, you got a pretty good chance of catching that jersey. And I actually have one.
I've got 2 pairs of gloves from 2 separate keepers, both signed, that I got from these players. Just sitting up in the stands. So it's hopefully we're able to head to a game like that in England or another country.
And wherever you are, wherever you're watching, if you can get to a live soccer match, go,
absolutely.
man. Trust me, you won't regret it. You really won't regret it. It's a lot of fun. Especially if you can get in with the home supporters and start learning the songs that they'll sing for their heroes, or songs they'll sing to heckle the opposing team. It's brilliant. Do it. Just do it, even if it means sacrificing.
We're not sponsored by Nike. Let's see, EFL Cup next round will start at the end of the month. Got a couple good draws here. Chelsea playing Derby County, so Frank Lampard's return to Stamford Bridge. West Ham United versus Tottenham. That'll be a very good match. City Fulham. That'll be very fun to watch.
I'm interested in the Leicester Southampton game.
That'll be, especially with Southampton coming off a win over Everton. That'll be an interesting game.
I predict Arsenal wins over Blackpool, but you never know.
Derby County just beat Man United.
Could happen.
Anything could happen.
Stranger things have happened. I don't know why I said it like that, but whatever.
Me neither.
So, moving on.
Let's see. As of recording this today, there were a couple Champions League games with Group E, Group F, Group G, and Group H, which means tomorrow.
What's that spell?
Was there more tomorrow? There are more tomorrow.
Should be.
Yes. So we'll go over the ones that happened today, because there were some upsets, some crazy games, some important happenings.
And, yeah.
What? Oh, let's see. Apparently, Hoffenheim gave City quite a run for their money with an early goal. City did come back to beat them 2-1.
Yeah, and apparently David Silva. City waited till late in the match. David Silva got the winner.
The 87th minute.
Yep.
So it's a big win for them. Lyon and Shakhtar tied 2-2. Real Madrid lost to CSKA Moscow 1-0. And that game had some action at the end. The one goal of the game,
some extracurricular activity,
was in the second minute. So in the second minute of the game, there's a goal scored, and almost nothing happened until the 90th +6, where the goalkeeper for Moscow who was also the captain, complained to the referee that he was adding too much time, giving Real Madrid, a chance to tie it up. And as a goalkeeper, that's something you complain about. You check the time, like, look, why are you not calling it? And the referee wasn't taking it. He yellow carded him. And the goalkeeper persisted and got a red card in the 90th plus 6.
Got second yellow.
Second yellow. And then so they ended up having to sub out a player for another goalkeeper. But it was foolish, really. You just listen to the ref when he says, "Look,
he's not going to change his
mind."
Seriously, he's not.
It'll be hurtful for them in their next match. But they did get a win over a very tough opponent today, so good on them. Roma put an absolute beating on Victory Pilsen, 5-0, which is just ridiculous. Juventus beat Young Boys 3-0 with a hat trick from Paulo Dybala. Basically saying, hey, look, we don't need Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm better. Suck it. And then more woes for Jose Mourinho and Manchester United, drawing 0-0 with Valencia, who, by the way, is currently 14th in La Liga. So they're not having a very good season. I don't know if maybe they just came to play. But it seems we haven't had a chance to actually see the game. We don't have coverage of it, unfortunately. But from looking at like some highlights and some news on it, it seemed like Valencia was the better team. But I mean, still, it's more lost points for Jose Mourinho and United.
Yeah, and it's just it just kind of reiterates that his players are just not willing to go the extra step for him. For again, whatever reason. This is all just conjecture on our part. Thomas and I have absolutely no inside knowledge of what goes on in the Manchester United locker room. I have no idea. Though. Yeah, it'd be cool. Hang out at Old Trafford, with Manchester United, and just ask Marouane Fellaini what is up with the eyebrows
and the hair. Why do you keep dyeing it? Stop.
But listen, you can pick him out from the nosebleeds. But it's just there's more whoa for Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho. Sorry. But
dad jokes.
But and it's again, we've talked about this with other teams. It's really kind of sad, to see a team, where just not too many years ago when Sir Alex Ferguson was still in charge. The United. You mentioned Manchester United. You had a pretty good idea who was going to win the match. Didn't matter who they were playing. It was tough to come past them. And then since he retired, they've had their ups and downs. David Moyes just couldn't hang on to it. Louis van Gaal kind of, sort of did okay for a while. And now, Jose Mourinho, just, it seemed like they were going to be okay. And then the wheels fell off somewhere, and he just keeps, instead of pulling into a pit stop trying to fix the problem, and granted, during the transfer window, he said, I want 2 more players. I want 2 more players. I want 2 more players. He wouldn't name them, but, upper management said, no, you got what you got, So, is that part of it? It could be. But, given the fact that he's got the amount of talent that he does on that team, they shouldn't be struggling as much as we think they are.
Now, here's my question. How do you get rid of a coach like that right now? Season's just started. You're still in Champions League. You're in a big tournament, and the season's very early. Is it? Do you get rid of him now and get a new coach in now so you can start working on it, or do you wait?
I think you gotta wait because of Champions League. With it being early in the league season, I think now's the time to do it in the league season. However, with Champions League just getting underway, I really think that bringing in a new manager now would just cause too much upset, and I think would surely see Manchester United exit Champions League.
But how do you know that, Mourinho doesn't completely screw it up and they exit in the group stage.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, if that happens, then you know what you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at that point, you know, he's made the decision for you. But I think right now, just from an outsider looking in, I think it would be really, really disadvantageous for them to say, listen, you got to go. We're going to bring in somebody else with Champions League still going.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. I mean, they could bring somebody else in who just, you know, turns things around, and the players are like, yeah, this is the Messiah we've been waiting for. And all of a sudden United's churning on all cylinders again, and, you know, it turns out all good.
Hashtag bring Fergie back.
He's at the stand. He's in the stands every week. You know, I mean, come on, the cat's always in the stands.
I don't think he wants to anymore.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, he's made his money. He wants to relax and just enjoy watching a match. But I mean, come on. I mean, this is the house that Fergie built, and you know, and he's watching it collapse down around Jose Mourinho's ears right now.
Yeah.
And it's sad, you know, because like I said, you know, years ago, and not many years ago, I mean, a handful, you know, years ago, Manchester United was the team to beat. You know, but you know it's not up to me. We'll see.
It'll be very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But I think with that,
Stay tuned.
I think that's all I have.
That's all I have.
You wanna take it out?
I will take it out. Big shout out to you guys for tuning in week after week for our uninformed ramblings.
Mindless banter.
But shout out to FotMob. We use FotMob for a lot of our information. Big thanks to Thomas for the editing and production of these videos week after week. He does a really cool job with those. You know, with limited equipment and, you know, limited expertise.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
But it turns out great every time. Huge shout out to Macrophonic MC, our good friend who lets us use his music for the intro and outro. Check out Macrophonic MC. He's got new music available. You'll find the links there.
Yep.
Go check it out. Tell him we sent you. He knows who we are. So big shout out to you. And he's also a super cool dude. We got hit pretty hard with Hurricane Florence a little while ago. You guys might know that already. Some of you are in the local area and definitely know that. But Macrophonic MC spent his downtime helping out a friend who lost everything. So David and Tina, I don't know if you guys are watching or not, but you're in our thoughts and our prayers. But anyway, so there's that. Thomas has the breast cancer awareness design for the Inside the Six logo. You can find those links there too. Go to the t-shirt shop. For the rest of the month, whenever you buy one of the
Yep.
shirts, hoodies, aprons, cell phone covers, pens, pencils, mugs, probably shoe liners, I don't know.
Whatever profits we make from that, we will double the profits and donate all of that to a breast cancer awareness foundation.
So please do that and watch more soccer. So, and we'll see you guys next week with some more Champions League and match day 8 from the Premier League and whatever super cool news we can find for you guys. Comment section, let us know how we're doing. What do you want to hear? What don't you want to hear? How we doing? Be nice. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Booyah!
Dear Mr. A&R, we all struggling artists. Realize the world is cold, but we came here to spark it. Swimming little guppies in a sea full of sharks. It's gonna take a miracle to not end up hard.